Laura, obviously coming off Friday night's match against Brisbane, the biggest news is Maxi's knee. Do you mind talking us through that diagnosis on the night, the discussions that were had, and then what it looks like for him in rehab?
Yep, sure. So obviously everyone would have seen that quite significant what we call a valgus mechanism when Jack Viney came across his knee. So with that mechanism, it does always worry us whether this is an ACL injury, an MCL injury. Assessing him, he has had a previous MCL injury on that knee, so it just made it a little bit difficult when we were assessing him. So at that stage, we weren't sure which way it could possibly be, but by the end of the night, he didn't have any swelling in that knee. He was pretty comfortable, so our confidence sort of came up it was more likely to be an MCL injury. And then thankfully, as you all know, by the next day, the MRI confirmed that.
And then so what does his return to training look like?
Yeah, so he'll enter our rehab program. We want to get some really good scarring up of that ligament in the short term and then grade him back to running, agility and then play. So realistically, we're probably looking at a 4 to 6 week time frame for Max, but we'll take that week by week and see how he goes.
And then on to Maisie. Obviously, he was a late out with the calf injury, ruling him out of the game. We've got a 9-day break now. What does it look like for him to be able to get back onto the track on Sunday?
Yep, so he's going really well. We're hoping now, got through our training today. He'll continue to progress, aim to full train on Thursday, and we're really hopeful and confident he'll be fine to play this Sunday.
And jumping onto another defender, unfortunately, he's been through his thyroid issues and now Salo's been hit with a knee injury. What happened on that Thursday?
Yeah, so unfortunately Salem with that history in that knee where he chipped some cartilage early last year, as a result this week at training he felt a little bit of a crunch in that knee and he's actually this time torn that meniscus on that same side of his knee. Unfortunately it was what we call unstable and needed to be trimmed back by the surgeon, which he had done this morning. Surgery went really well and he will have a week at home resting and then start to get back into training as his knee swelling and things settle. Really disappointing for Christian, but as we know, he's a very resilient young man and he'll get back into rehab and we hope to have him back on the track soon.
Fingers crossed. And then unfortunately, young gun Will Verrill, he's suffered a pelvis injury.
Yeah, so Will has quite an unusual injury for an AFL player, actually not that uncommon in runners, which fits with obviously what they do out there on the track. He's got some bone stress in his pelvis. Thinking about Will, he's an 18-year-old, he's still growing, he's learning how to train at the AFL level, so it's sort of that perfect storm for where that bone can't heal and turn over as well as it can when someone's maybe a bit older and a bit used to all the running load. So that's probably where that's developed for Will.
And then just lastly, Josh Shackey unfortunately had a head knock on the weekend during the VFL. What's that recovery from a head knock look like?
Yeah, so unfortunately Josh, that was a concussion in the end. He was removed from play, deemed concussed and didn't go back on at the VFL game. So he'll enter our graded return to play protocols, which as we all know is that 12-day minimum, and we'll see how he goes. He'll obviously miss this week and if he's going well we'd aim to play him the week after.